it's Nadia from YARNutopia. Today we are making the Summer Breeze shawl. This is so much fun to make. It is a 10-row repeat. So in this tutorial I am going to show you how to make the first 10 rows, and then you can just rewind if you need to repeat the rows that I showed. And I did 5 repeats and this is how it turned out. It looks so fabulous, and I love this colorway. So I'll get into the supplies, and then we'll get into talking about measurements and frequently asked questions, and then we'll make it together. So big huge thank you to Lion Brand Yarn for providing the yarn today. They sent this to me and it is super fabulous to work with. This is Mandala Baby. I used a little over 1 cake. This is a cake of yarn. So in this ball of yarn it has 590 yards, and in this shawl I used about 700 yards of yarn. So if you cannot get Mandala Baby yarn, just use 700 yards of a yarn that is similar. So you can see here it's a light yarn size 3. I would recommend using a light yarn size 3 or a worsted weight medium-sized yarn 4. I have a few balls of yarn here that are very similar in texture and weight. This one is Paint Box Yarn's Simply Aran. This is a great thickness of yarn to use for the shawl. I have another ball of yarn here. This is Vanna's Choice by Lion Brand Yarns, and the thickness for this yarn is very similar as well and would look great in this shawl. Here is a specialty yarn that is actually, I think this is actually considered sock yarn. Yeah, fingering weight is a little lighter, which would allow the stitches to be a little more breezy, but you could still use a yarn like this. It is a little bit thinner, but it will be much light, a very light piece if you do use a size 1 fingering weight. I would not change the size of your hook if you use a yarn like this. You can use, let's see here. Oh, here's Willow Wash. Willow Yarns is a great yarn to use as well. This is Wash. This will be a great yarn to use for the shawl as well. Something I would not recommend using is this chunky yarn, because your yarn will obviously it'll be super thick, it won't work out very well, so do not use a chunky yarn. This one specifically is a jumbo size 7. Don't use anything 7 or 6 or 5, but you can use a 4 or a 3, a 2 or a 1, okay? And if you go to YARNsub.com, you can type in Lion Brand Mandala Baby on YARNsub.com, and all the equivalent yarns for this specific type will come up. And so if you cannot get this specific yarn, something will pop up that you can get. So I get a lot of questions about what type of yarn to use. If you can't access this specific one, what yarn do you suggest? That is my suggestion. We are using an H size crochet hook today that is 5 millimeters. This crochet hook is specifically from the Etsy shop Would Be Fancy. There are hand-carved, ergonomic, wooden handled crochet hooks. This one I'm going to be using in this tutorial. There's another one here. This is size H as well. It just forms into the palm of your hand really nicely. This one's one of my favorite crochet hooks to use. I use this a lot. And this one as well. It's just a nice bigger handle to crochet for longer periods of time without my hand hurting after a while. So get these crochet hooks from Etsy. It's the shop is called Would Be Fancy. I'll link it in the description of this video so you can go straight to the shop and get your hook too. Also, you're going to need a scissors and a yarn needle to cut your yarn and sew in some ends when we finish. And if you are changing color in your project, you can change your color, and obviously the scissors and yarn come in handy. But this yarn is color changing already, so I didn't even have to get a new ball of yarn. It's just all striped like this. And this is what it turns out to look like. So beautiful! I love it so much. So I did some measurements off camera. So the short sides, there's 3 sides to this, 2 short sides and then 1 long side. So this is a short side and this is a short side, and here is our center point right here. And each of these short sides, let me get my measurement out, they measure 36 inches, which is 3 feet from the point corner to the end of this. So this whole side measures 3 feet, which is 36 inches, which is 92 centimeters, okay? So that's that. The long side, that's the top of our shawl, this long side measures 70 inches long, and that is 177 centimeters when finished. So if you have the same measurement or want the same measurement as me, just do exactly what I do and your measurement will turn out like this. But like I say in the tutorial, you can repeat this section as many times as you want and make it as big as you want. But this is so beautiful. I love it so much. So those are the frequently asked questions. Those are all the supplies we need. Big thank you again to Lion Brand Yarn for sending me this yarn and making this project with it. Big thank you to my dad, who's over my shoulder filming this whole tutorial, editing it, and posting it up online for you guys to watch. And thanks to you for watching. Make sure to hit that like, hit a comment, let me know what you like about our tutorials or any suggestions and tutorials you'd like to see in the future. And yeah, just subscribe to our channel here on YouTube. Alright, let's get started and make the Summer Breeze shawl. Yeah? Alright, to start out, we are going to make a slip knot. So put your short end over your long end, then fold this down, and then pull your long end through that loop, and then pull everything tight, and there's your slip knot. And then we can insert our hook and begin. If you want to start with the magic ring, go right ahead, but I'm going to show in my demonstration a different way to start. We are going to chain 4, so yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to go to the very first chain way over here and slip stitch to form a ring. So go into that first chain, yarn over and pull it through and through the loop on your hook there. So you've just created a slip stitch and a ring right here. So we're going to be working into this ring. Now if you wanted, like I said, start with the magic ring, you can totally do that, but at this point we're going to work into this ring. So it says row 1. In the ring we are going to start off by chaining 4, so yarn over and pull through 1, 2, 3, and 4. And what that counts as is the first 3 chains count as a double crochet, and this next chain, this 4th chain here, counts as a chain 1 space. So it says 3 double crochets into the ring. So yarn over, go into the ring, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. That is a double crochet. So do that 2 more times. 1 and 2. Okay? So now, so far, it looks like a double crochet, chain 1, which is our chain up 4 here, and then 3 double crochets there. Okay? Going on to the next step, it says to chain 2, so yarn over, pull through 1 and 2, and then put 3 more double crochets into the ring. So 1, yarn over, go back in, here's 2, and another one, here's 3. Okay, and just like in the beginning, there's that chain 1 and that double crochet there. We're going to chain 1 here, and then double crochet into the ring. And that is row 1. Super simple. Okay, so you can kind of see it's already making the point. So in this project, I'm going to count the point. I'm going to call it the corner. Okay, so whenever you see in the pattern, or when I talk about the corner, I mean this point here. Okay, so Going on to row 2, we are going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn your work around, going this way, and this chain 4 here counts as like the beginning one here. This 3 chains is a double crochet, and the next chain is a chain 1 space. And we're going to double crochet into the very first stitch where we chained up 4, this very first stitch right here. Okay, we're going to double crochet in there. So yarn over, go in, and make a double crochet in the very first stitch. Perfect. Now we're going to chain 1 and skip over this chain 1 space. And we're going to double crochet into the next stitch right here. So skip this chain 1 space and double crochet into here. Yarn over, go in, right in here, and double crochet. Simple. Okay. Then it says to skip the next stitch and double crochet into the next stitch. Oh, but we have to chain 1 first. So let's chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then double crochet in the stitch before the corner. Okay, just like that. Now we are in the corner, okay, or this point of our shawl, and it says to chain 1, and in the corner, in this chain 2 space here, we are going to double crochet, then chain 2, 1, 2, and then double crochet back into there. Okay, so it's double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, all in that chain space of the corner. Now we're going to chain 1 and double crochet into the very next double crochet stitch right after the corner. So this stitch right here, double crochet into there. Then chain 1, and basically just repeat what we did on this side for this side here. Okay, so chain 1, skip a stitch, and then double crochet into this next stitch. Okay, then chain 1, and it looks like on this opposite side, what we did was when we chained 1 there, in the very last stitch, so we skip this chain 1 here, but for this one it's a chain up 3, 1, 2, 3, so right in the top of that chain up 3, or the third chain, right here, we're going to put a double crochet, then chain 1, sorry my yarn's in the way, and then a double crochet, all in the last stitch. Okay, so double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. So again, you can see the point and how it looks. Super simple so far. So let's go on to row 3. We're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn your work around like this, and we're going to double crochet into the same first stitch, exactly like we did the last row, or the second row there. So yarn over, go back into that first stitch right there, and double crochet in there. Perfect. Now we are going to double crochet in each of the chain spaces and in each stitch until we hit the corner. So yarn over, go into this first chain 1 space right here, and make a double crochet. Then work into this double crochet stitch right here, and work a double crochet into the stitch. Then double crochet into this chain 1 space, and then double crochet into this stitch. Then double crochet in the chain 1 space, and just keep doing that until the corner. Once you hit the corner, it says we're going to put 2 double crochets, then chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Okay, so I've hit the corner, so we've just got like solid double crochets across here in each stitch and in each chain space. Okay, so now in this chain 2 corner here, the point, we want to put 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, Okay, then chain 2, and then 2 more double crochets in there. 1 and 2. Okay, super simple so far. Now just repeat what we did on this side for this side here. So in this very first double crochet stitch, just double crochet, and in each of the chain spaces as well. Okay, so then we're just double crocheting until the very last stitch, and in the last stitch we are going to put a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet. The reason why we put 2 stitches in the first and last stitch is to create the increase so that this will be more of a triangle shape and not a round shape. Okay, so don't forget that this is a chain 1 space here, so put that double crochet in there, and then count up the third chain, 1, 2, 3, right here. In the third chain of your beginning chain of 4 from that previous row, we're going to put a double crochet, then chain 1, and a double crochet. And that was row 3. Cool. Looking good so far, but the intricate stitches are coming up now. We are going to go on to row 4. Let's chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, that counts as a double crochet and a chain 1 space. And we're going to double crochet into the first stitch right here. So yarn over, go back into that same first stitch, and make your double crochet. Okay, so it looks like double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all in that same first stitch. Then we're going to chain 1 and skip the chain 1 space here and this first stitch right here. Okay, so skip this chain 1 and skip this double crochet. Then we're going to V-stitch into this next stitch right here. Okay, so a V-stitch is a double crochet, then chain 1, oopsie, you could chain 1 or 2, I chain 1, and then double crochet back into that same stitch. Okay, so you can see double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all in that same stitch. Then it says to chain 1 and skip 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and then put a V-stitch into this next stitch, this fourth stitch. So go 1, 2, 3, skip those 3, go into this next stitch here, and make a V-stitch. So again, a V-stitch is a double crochet, chain 1, and a double crochet, all in that same stitch. Because it kind of looks like a V. See that? Cool. So now we're just going to repeat that until we hit the corner. So let's chain 1, skip 3 stitches, and go into this next stitch right here and make a V-stitch. Double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Now there should be 1 stitch before the corner, just skip that stitch, and then it says, let's see here, in the corner we are going to, okay, yeah, skip that stitch and go into the corner, double crochet into the corner. We're going to do 1 double crochet, okay, then chain 1, then 2 double crochets in the same corner, 1 and 2, okay, then chain 1, and then double crochet back into that same corner. Okay, so it's double crochet, chain 1, 2 double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Then we're going to skip that next stitch there, and we are going to V-stitch into the stitch after that. So double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Just like that. Okay, now at this point, I remember when I was making this the first time, I got lost at my corner here, so I ended up putting a stitch marker right in between these 2 stitches to make sure I remembered that the corner is there, because it kind of flattens off here, but on row 5, the next row, it will point up again. So if you need to mark that, you can totally do that. But let's continue. Let's chain 1 and then skip the next 3 stitches and then V-stitch in the next stitch. Okay, then chain 1, skip 3 stitches and V-stitch into the next stitch. Okay. Now, just like we started this row, if you need to look back or you can read the instructions, we are skipping the next stitch and the chain 1 space, and we're putting a V-stitch in the last stitch, and you can also chain 1 here. Chain 1 after your V-stitches. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, the third chain of this chain up 4, we're going to put a V-stitch to finish off row 4, and then we can go on to row 5. Alright, this is what your work should look like so far. We're going to go on to row 5 now. So let's chain 4, just like we have been doing. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, that's a double crochet and a chain 1 space. Let's turn our work around and double crochet into that same first stitch. So yarn over, go into that same first stitch, and double crochet in there. Just like that. Okay? Now it says to chain 2, 1 and 2, and skip this. This is like a V-stitch here. Skip this chain 1 space and this double crochet. And we're going to actually work between the V-stitches in these chain 1 spaces between the V-stitches. So in this chain 1 space between the V-stitch, we are going to make a 2 double crochet cluster. So what that is a yarn over, go into that chain 1 space between these 2 V-stitches, okay, right in here. Then yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, but then keep those 2 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over again and go back into that chain space, yarn over and pull that through, then yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, now we have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And that is our 2 double crochet cluster. You can also count that as a double crochet 2 together stitch. It's similar, but it's in the same spot. Okay, so it's a 2 double crochet cluster in this pattern. Then what we are going to do is chain 3. So yarn over, pull through, 1, 2, 3, skip over this V-stitch, and then work the 2 double crochet cluster in between these 2 V-stitches. So again, yarn over, go into that space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go back into that space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. And there it is. Okay, then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're just going to continue doing this, let's see here, until the corner. So let me go in between these 2 V-stitches, 1, 2, right in between there, and make the same stitch. Okay, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and okay, so at this point, this is where it got confusing because we are at the corner here and there's no chain space. So we are going to work a stitch in right after this V-stitch here, right before our corner stitches. You can see our corner stitches are right here. So in this little gap, there is no chain 1 there. If you want to put a chain 1 there in the previous row, you can, but it's still a pretty big gap that you wouldn't really actually need it. So just remember just to put a 2 double crochet cluster in that gap. Okay, now we are going to work our corner stitches. So it says skip that V-stitch and make sure to chain 3 and then put our we're going to do a double crochet 2 together in this next stitch right here and in the chain 1 space here. Okay, so let's chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so double crochet these 2 together right here. So this, let me move my stitch over. So this double crochet, the first double crochet of the corner, I just want to make sure I'm getting this right. The first double crochet of the corner, yarn over, go into it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Hold these 2 loops on your hook. We're going to go into this chain 1 space before these 2 middle ones, okay? So right in here, yarn over, go into that chain 1 space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, just like that. Now we're going to work into these middle 2 here, and it actually says to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, and those 2 middle ones are going to actually have treble crochet 2 together in those ones. So treble crochet, you yarn over twice, okay, then go into this very next double crochet stitch right here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 more loops, and then hold these 2 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over twice again. Okay, so now it looks like there's 4 loops on our hook. We're going to go into the very next stitch right here, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2 more. Now there's 3 loops on your hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. That is a treble crochet 2 together stitch. That just gets the height to our point, our center point, in our corner. Okay? Now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to basically do exactly what we did on this side to this side. So yarn over, go into this chain 1 space here, and make your a double crochet 2 together with the chain 1 space and this next double crochet stitch. Let me untie my yarn here. There we go. So yarn over 1 time there, go into the chain 1 space, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Hold these 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go into this very next double crochet stitch, and make your double crochet 2 together. It's very similar to the 2 double crochet cluster, but we're actually putting 2 stitches together, the chain 1 space and this double crochet stitch. Okay, now this very next space, this gap right here, we are going to be putting our cluster, the 2 double crochet cluster. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then cluster in this gap. Again, there's no chain 1 here, but we're going to go into the gap and make our 2 double crochet cluster. Okay, now we're going to go over to this spot right here, this chain 1 space, after this V stitch, so chain 3, and then go into this gap here, this chain 1 space, between the V stitches, and make your cluster stitch. And then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip this V stitch here, go in between the 2 V stitches, make sure yarn over, go in, and make your 2 double crochet cluster. Okay, then chain 3, go into this gap between here, and make your last 2 double crochet cluster. Then to finish row 5, we're going to look back over here and see exactly what we did. We chained 3, oh wait, we just chained 2, sorry. Chain 2, 1, 2, and we're going to work in this last stitch, the 3rd chain of this chain 4, 1, 2, 3, right in here. We're going to double crochet, then chain 1, and then double crochet. So simple. There we go. Okay, I'm going to pull this yarn out just to show you what it looks like so far. This is what it looks like. Awesome! We're getting somewhere. Okay, I gotta turn my page and go on to row 6, and I'll show you that next. Alright, we're going to go on to row 6 now. Let's chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's turn our work around, and instead of just putting 1 double crochet in that first stitch, we're actually going to put 3. So yarn over, go into that very first stitch there, and put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Now we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and skip literally this whole section here. Skip this chain 1, skip this stitch, skip this chain 3 space, and we're going to go into this chain 3 space here, and we are going to work 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and put 3 more double crochets in there. So scoot these over and put 3 more double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. So that's what it should look like. Now we're going to chain 3 and skip this chain 3 space. Okay, so chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip this chain 3 space and hop into this chain 3 space here and make these series of stitches in here as well. So yarn over, go into there. So we skip this one, go into here. 1, 2, and 3. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 more double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. Perfect. Going on to the next step. Okay, so this is what it looks like. We are going to chain 3 and skip this section here. So 1, 2, 3, skip this chain space here, and we are going to go in the chain space before the treble crochet 2 together stitch here. Okay, we're going to go into the chain 3 space right before that and make our corner stitches. So our corner stitches are 3 double crochets in this chain 3 space before the treble crochet 2 together. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, hop to the other side of the treble crochet 2 together stitch into this chain 3 space and put 3 double crochets in there. And that is our corner, our point. 1, 2, and 3. And then just repeat everything we did opposite on this side. Okay, so we're gonna chain 3 right now. 1, 2, 3. Skip this chain space here and work those stitches into here, right here. 3 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 double crochets. I'm working a little bit faster for the video, but if I'm working too fast, you can always pause this, rewind. Awesome. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip this chain 3 space, go into this one, and make your series of stitches. That's the 3 double crochet, chain 3, and 3 double crochet. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip everything, and go into the third chain of this beginning chain 4 and make essentially what we did in the beginning. So there's 3 double crochets, 1 and 2 and 3, and then chain 1 and then put 1 more double crochet in there, and that finishes row 6. So this is what your work should look like at this point. Very beautiful. Oh my gosh, that looks really cool on screen. Okay, next step is row 7. So row 7 is a little different now, and keep in mind these spaces that we chain 3 and skipped over, we're actually going to pinch them together, and in this next row we'll be working over these 2 chain 3 spaces here. So this, like this, we're going to pinch them together, and our stitches are going to work into row 5's chain space. Okay, and I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to chain 6 for row 7. So no more chaining 4, we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn your work around. And we're going to, okay, so this is considered a double crochet and a chain 3 space. So the first 3 double crochets is, the first 3 chains is a double crochet. The next 3 chains is a chain 3 space. Okay? Now, in this chain 1 space, right here, let me just check my work real quick. Make sure I'm doing this right. We're going to make cluster stitches, and it's going to be a 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, so in this chain 1 space right here, we are going to make a 3 double crochet cluster. So how to do that? We're going to yarn over, go in to this chain 1 space before these 3 double crochets, work a 3 double crochet cluster. So yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Hold these 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go back in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, hold these 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go back in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So now we have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over and pull through all 4 of those loops. And then chain 2. 1, 2. And there is our 3 double crochet cluster. So we're going to do another one in there as well. So it should be a 3 double crochet cluster, then chain 2, and then a 3 double crochet cluster, all in that chain 1 space. Okay, I'm going to go a little slower here. So you have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 of those loops. Just like that. Perfect. Okay, so after this second one, let's see here. On my pattern it says do not chain after this one. Okay? We're going to put 2 treble crochets working into this space from row 5. Okay, so after this cluster here, yarn over twice, okay, skip these 3 stitches here, work into this chain space from row 5. So we're working over this chain space and this chain space. So yarn over twice, go down into this space. Now your working yarn will be back here, yarn over and pull it through so it comes up around both of them, pinching that together, yarn over and pull through 2 loops to secure that, and then finish off your treble crochet. Yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Oopsie, lost my loop there. There we go. So there's our treble crochet, pinching those 2 chain spaces together. So again, we have to do 2 treble crochets. So let's go back in. So yarn over twice, go back into that chain space and work your treble crochet. So there's 2 treble crochets like that. 1, 2. Beautiful. Now we're going to work into this chain space right here, and we are going to make our cluster stitches. So it says in the next chain 3 space, which is right here, we are going to make cluster stitches. So no chaining after these treble crochets. So yarn over, go into this chain 3 space here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Hold those 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And again, yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and there's your 3 double crochet cluster. Let's chain 2, 1 and 2, and make another 3 double crochet cluster into that same space. Okay, then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to put 1 more into there. 1 more 3 double crochet cluster. 1, 2, and 3. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. Okay, so there's 3 in there. 3 double crochet cluster, chain 2, 3 double crochet cluster, chain 2, 3 double crochet cluster in that chain 3 space. Now no chaining after this third one. I know in the beginning it showed just 2, but that's because this is the edge of our triangle. So we're going to now, in these ones on the side, we're going to put 3. Okay? So this beginning is just separate. Then we have our treble crochets. Now there's 3 in there. Now we're going to treble crochet, working those 2 together to pinch them. So yarn over twice. Okay, go down to row 5 into this chain space. Yarn over and pull that together. Yarn over and pull through 2 to close that. Then finish off your treble crochet. And then do it again. So we want 2 treble crochets in there. Because in the next row, we're going to be working between the 2 treble crochets. So we want to work 2 treble crochets in there. Next step is to work into this chain space right here and make these series of stitches. 3 double crochet cluster, chain 2, 3 double crochet cluster, chain 2, and 3 double crochet cluster, all in this chain 3 space. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, chain 2, another 3 double crochet cluster in there, chain 2, and another 3 double crochet cluster. Whoopsie. 1, 2, 3, and pull through. Okay, so we have our 3 there. Now, no chaining after this one. We're going to yarn over twice and go into this right here. And we're going to pinch these 2 together and make our treble crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, now we've hit the corner. So it says for this row, let me see here, 3 double crochet cluster. Okay, so in the corner, we are going to actually put 4 clusters in the corner. Okay, so make your 3 double crochet cluster. This is the corner chain 4 space, right? So make a cluster, 1, 2, 3, and then yarn over, pull through all 4 loops. Get more yarn here. Chain 2, 1 and 2. Put another cluster in there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, then chain 2, 1, 2. Then put another cluster in there. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we're going to chain 2 and put one more cluster in there, and that will be our corner, our point, our center point. Okay, just like that. Now, whatever we did on this side, we have to do this side opposite. So moving backwards, what did we do in here? We did 2 treble crochets. So let's go to this chain space here and pinch these together, yarn over twice, and go in and make 2 treble crochets in there. Oopsie. Let's try that again. Yarn over twice. There we go. 1 and 2. Perfect. And then this chain 3 space here has our clusters. Then cinch these 2 together and make 2 treble crochets. Then our cluster stitches. Then our 2 treble crochets. And then I'll meet you up when I'm finishing this row. Alright, when you're coming up to the end of row 7 here, I have my 2 treble crochets cinching these 2 together, these chain spaces. Remember to skip these 3 stitches and work into this chain 1 space here. We are going to make 2 clusters, so 1, 2, 3, okay, then chain 2, 1, 2, and then another cluster in there, 1, 2, 3, okay, and now we're actually going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet into the 3rd chain of the beginning chain 6. So yarn over, going 1, 2, 3, right up here, just double crochet into there. And it's exactly like the opposite end. There we go. As you can see on this side, we did, if you look backwards, cluster, chain 2, cluster, chain 3, and it's our chain 6 really. Okay, so this is cluster, chain 2, cluster, chain 3, double crochet. And now we can go on to row 8. So let's see here. Row 8 says chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn the work around, and we are going to double crochet into that very same stitch, that first stitch there. Yarn over, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, so it says working in this chain space here, this chain 3 space, we're going to yarn over, go into that chain 3 space, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, we're making a stitch called a 3DC together, a 3 double crochet together. So working in this chain space. Then the second part of it will be worked into this cluster stitch. So yarn over, go into the cluster stitch, hold these loops on your hook here, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So we have 3 loops on the hook right now. Hold these 3 loops on your hook. The third part of our stitch is going to be in this next cluster right here. So yarn over, go into this next cluster. I know it's kind of far, but it will cinch it all together. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So now we have 4 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 of those loops, and that is our double crochet 3 together in the beginning of this row. The end of this row will also be the same as this one. The ones in the middle here are going to be a little different than our start and our end. So we just did a 3 double crochet together, working in the chain space and these 2 clusters. Now we're going to work between these treble crochet stitches here. And what are we going to do? We're going to put 3 double crochets. So spread these 2 apart. 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and put 3 more double crochets between them in that same spot, just right there. 1, 2, and 3. Fabulous. So that's what that looks like there. Now we're going to work our 3 double crochet stitch together, working over these 3 clusters. Okay, so to do that, yarn over, go into the first cluster stitch at the top right here. Don't worry about these chain 2 spaces. Don't even, just ignore those. So go into the cluster stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next cluster stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And our next cluster stitch, yarn over, go into that, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. So now we have our 4 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. And there is our 3 double crochet together, working on these cluster stitches. So now we're just going to repeat this whole section. So these treble crochet stitches right here are going to have, spread those apart there, and put 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 more double crochets in between those treble crochet stitches. Just like that. Now we're going to do our 3 double crochet, or a double crochet 3 together, working on these 3 clusters. Okay, so yarn over, go into this cluster, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into this next cluster, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And this next cluster. And then yarn over and pull through all 4, and they are now 1 stitch. And between these 2 treble crochets, you know what to do now. Make your 3 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 double crochets, all between the treble crochet stitches from the previous row. Cool. Now let's see what we have to do in the corner, because it's a little different. So it says, let's see, between the treble crochet stitches. Okay. In the corner, double crochet 2 together. See, that's the difference here. So we're going to work our corner in the middle of these 2, but first off, we have to double crochet these 2 together. So yarn over, go into this first cluster of the corner, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next cluster of the corner, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook, just putting those 2 clusters together. Now in this chain 2 space of the very center of our corner, we're going to put 3 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 more double crochets. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And there is our corner and our center point. Now everything that we did on this end, we're going to do over here opposite. So look back. What did we do right before the corner? We put these 2 together. So let's put these 2 together. These 2 clusters. Yarn over, go into this cluster here. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the next cluster and make your double crochet 2 together. Now there is our treble crochet stitches. So what do? We spread them apart and put 3 double crochets, chain 3, and 3 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then we have 3 cluster stitches here, so we're going to double crochet 3 together, then put our spread these treble crochets apart, and we're going to put 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochet in there, then 3 double crochet 3 together on these clusters, and then put our 3 double crochet, chain 3, 3 double crochets in between these trebles, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how to end this row. Alright, so I'm finishing row 8, and looking back at the beginning here, it looks like we had to double crochet 3 together, but we worked into the chain space there. So let's yarn over, go into the first cluster here, yarn over, pull through 2, then go into the next cluster, so yarn over, go into this next cluster here, and make that. And then the third part of this stitch is going to be in this chain space. So yarn over, go into this chain space before our last stitch, and make the last part of your 3 double crochet together, yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. And then in the last stitch it says to double crochet into this last stitch, which is our chain 3, 1, 2, 3, right at the third chain of our beginning chain there. Make a double crochet, then it says chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then another double crochet into that same spot right there. And that's row 8. Cool. It's starting to get really cool looking. Okay, so going on to row 9, it says to chain 4. So going back to chaining 4 now. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that counts as our double crochet and a chain 1. And then we're going to double crochet into the same first stitch. Let's turn our work around so we can work on this stitch right here. Is our very first stitch. We're going to put a double crochet in there. Then it says to, let's see, in the chain 3 space of this grouping, so skip over everything here and work into this chain 3 space, and it says to put 3 single crochets in there. So go into here. Okay. I'm sorry, I was just reading my pattern. I was like going slow because I was reading the pattern to make sure I didn't have to, or I had to skip over all this. So going into this chain 3 space, we're going to put 3 single crochets. So no yarning over, just go in, then yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay, that's a single crochet. So again, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. And one more time, in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2. Then it says to put treble crochets in the double crochet 3 together stitch, which is right here. Okay, I know this part is going to be a little difficult to see, so if you want to turn your stitches towards you so you can see the tops of your stitches, skip these 3 double crochets and work into, this is the double crochet 3 together stitch, work into that. And we're going to work treble crochets, so yarn over twice, go into the double crochet 3 together stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then it says to chain 1 and put another treble crochet in that same stitch. And then chain 1 again and put 1 more treble crochet into that same stitch. So treble crochets you yarn over twice. So it's in this double crochet 3 together stitch, we have a treble crochet, chain 1, treble crochet, chain 1, and a treble crochet. Then we're going to hop over to this chain 3 space here and put 3 single crochets into the chain 3 space. 1, 2, and 3. And then just repeat that little sequence right here till we get to the corner. So in the double crochet 3 together stitch, remember, skip 1, 2, 3. This is the double crochet 3 together stitch right here. we're going to work in there. We're going to yarn over twice, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over and pull through 2. Then chain 1, put another treble crochet in there, then chain 1 and put one more treble crochet in there. Then hop to the chain 3 space right here and put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so you can kind of see what it's looking like. It's kind of flattening this edge out a little bit. Looking good. It's really mixing the stitches together, which is really cool. Okay, so far so good. Now in the corner here, let's see here, it says we're going to put our treble crochets into this stitch before the corner. So it's treble crochet, chain 1, treble crochet, chain 1, and a treble crochet. Then once you get to the corner on row 9, it says, let's see here, in the corner, oh there we go, 2 single crochets, 1 and 2, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then put 2 more single crochets in there. So it's 2 single crochet, chain 3, and 2 single crochets in the corner. So once we are in the corner, then we can do everything for this side opposite of what we did on this side. Okay, so hop to, this is our double crochet 2 together for the previous row. We're gonna put treble crochet, chain 1, treble crochet, chain 1, treble crochet. Then hop to the chain 3 space here and put 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and just repeat that until we get to the end here. Once I finish and I'm getting to the end here, we'll go on to row 10 together. Okay, so I was looking at my pattern and it looked a little off to me, so if you want to, it's not going to change your aesthetic of the pattern or how it looks. It will change your stitch count a little bit, but in the beginning here we skipped over this double crochet 3 together stitch here. If you wanted to put if you wanted to put the treble crochet, chain 1, treble crochet, chain 1, treble crochet into that stitch right after your double crochet here, and then finish off your row that way too, putting a treble crochet, chain 1, treble crochet, chain 1, treble crochet into there, and then finishing the row. It would add those stitches, but and it might change your shape a little better, because it kind of looks like it's going down for me, but I know in the next row it will straighten out. So I'm not too worried about mine, but if you wanted to add those stitches to yours, it's not going to change anything. It'll change the stitch count obviously, but it won't change the look of the pattern. So if you wanted to at this point, done, yarn over twice and go into here and do your treble crochets, just make sure you do whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other side. So on mine, I skipped this one, not going back. I refuse to go back. So we're skipping everything, and in this last stitch here, 1, 2, 3, the third chain of our beginning chain 6, we are going to double crochet, chain 1, and double crochet. Was that a chain 1 or? Yeah, it was a chain 1. Sorry, just want to make sure. Okay, so double crochet, chain 1, double crochet into the last stitch in the third chain of our beginning chain 6 there. Okay, so going on to row 10 now, we are going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Turn your work around, and then double crochet. 2 double crochets into the first stitch here. So yarn over, go into this very first stitch and make 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Then it also says to double crochet into this chain 1 space right here. And then we're going to skip over this double crochet and these 3 single crochets. And we're going to work into these treble crochet stitches and their chain 1 spaces. So we're going to double crochet into the first treble crochet. So yarn over, go into this first treble crochet stitch and make a double crochet. Then in this chain 1 space right after that, we are going to put 2 double crochets. So double crochet is just yarn over once, go in, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So you can see I put 2 double crochets in that chain 1 space. Now we're going to work into this treble crochet here and just put 1 double crochet in there. And then in the next chain 1 space, we're going to put 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. And don't forget that last treble crochet in that grouping there. We're going to put 1 double crochet in there. But now we're going to skip over these 3 single crochets and work that sequence from here to here. We're going to work this sequence over all these treble crochet groupings, okay? So skip the single crochets in this round. So in this next treble crochet, we're going to double crochet in there. Then 2 double crochets in this chain 1 space. Then 1 double crochet in the next treble. Then 2 double crochets in the chain 1 space. And then 1 double crochet in the last treble. Okay, then skip these 3 single crochets and hop to the next grouping of treble crochets and do that. And then you'll hit the corner, and in the corner, let me see, what are we doing in the, ooh, my color is changing. This yarn is so cool. 1 and 2. And then this last treble. Okay, so in the corner, our corner is the 2 single crochet, chain 3, 2 single crochet. So in that chain space of the corner, we are going to put 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Kind of like a granny squares corner. 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3, all in that corner. And there's our corner point. So now we're just going to do opposite on this side what we did on this side. So hop to the next treble crochet and make your double crochets. 2 double crochets in the chain 1 spaces, 1 double crochet in each of the treble crochet stitches, and skip over the single crochets. And then I'll just meet you at the end of this row. I'm just going to skip these single crochets, work in this grouping and this grouping, and then I'll meet you up when I am finishing up this row. Alright, so finishing this row, we're just going to do opposite what we did on over here. So we're going to work in the chain 1 space right here, skip these single crochets, work in the chain 1 space, work a double crochet, and then in the 3rd chain of this beginning chain 4 here, we're going to work 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, then chain 1, and then put 1 more double crochet in there. And that finishes row 10. Oh my goodness. Okay, so now it's our repeat. So we're going to repeat row 2 through 10 really as many times as you want. This will straighten out as you go, and you can block it too at the end, and I'll tell you that a little later. But right now we are going to go back to row 2, so let me flip my page here. So row 2 says to chain 4, then turn your work around, double crochet in the same first stitch, Okay, then chain 1 and skip this chain 1 space here, and then double crochet into this very next double crochet stitch. Then chain 1, skip the next stitch and double crochet into the next stitch, and just keep doing that. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet into the next, and do that until the corner. And then in the corner we're doing a double crochet, chain 2, and a double crochet stitch. If you need to rewind this to see what I did for row 2, it was a little short before, but essentially this is how it should look, like that. Okay, so then you can just continue working, and then just obviously rows 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are exactly the same. So let me move over to the one I have finished, and I'll show you how many rows I have. Let me get this out of the way, and you can zoom out a little bit so you can see the piece I finished and am finishing. I'll show you how to bind off, because I didn't obviously bind off yet, but I'll turn this upside down because this is how we're working on it, like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so now you can see here's row 2, repeat row 2, row 3, row 4 is our V-stitch row here, row 5, row 6, row 7, this is row 7 here, row 8, row 9, and then row 10. And then just repeat row 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So let me see how many I have here. I repeated my rows. Let's see, here's 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 times. So there's 50 rows in my shawl. You can make yours as big as you want. I finished on a repeat of row 10. So if you wanted to finish on a repeat of row 10 or finish on a repeat of row 3, that would be the best edging. Row 10 or row 3 repeat. So this is row 10, so then we would do one row of 2, and then, one row of row 2, and then 1 row of row 3, and end there. We could do 2 more rows if we wanted to make the edge nice and clean, but I kind of like the aesthetic of how this one looks, like kind of shell sort of looking on that edge, and it just looks really nice. So, and this color work, I mean, this Mandala Baby yarn is super fabulous. So this is what it looks like right now. I'm going to show you how to fasten off. So at this point, what we need to do, once you have finished repeats, and you can follow along with the written pattern and everything, once you finish all your repeats, however many you want to do, I did 5 repeats of those rows that I showed you, but if you want to do 6 or 7 or 8, make it as big as you want. At the end, just chain 1 and then cut your yarn. Let me find my scissors here, sorry. Cut your yarn and then pull it through that chain 1 to secure it and tighten it. And then we're going to grab our yarn needle and just weave in all of the ends that we have. Now this one that I made, it took a little over 1 full cake of yarn. And I say cake because this mandala yarn is in cakes. But like I said, you can make it as big or small as you want it, just doing the repeats of rows 2 through 10. And I'm just sewing this end in to hide it and make it secure. And this is how I sew in my ends, just going back and forth until it's completely hidden and I'm satisfied with its security. Then I just cut any extra and it's hidden. Nice. And I have a few ends here to sew in as well, and in the center here. So this one I made off camera, but what I demonstrated to you on camera today is exactly this pattern. It took me a few times to figure out and frog, to rip it out, you know, but that is it. That is the Summer Breeze Shawl. I can't thank you enough for watching this video tutorial and making this project with me. Thanks to Lion Brand Yarn for providing the yarn for this project today. Also in this end off camera. But this is the yarn we used, Mandala Baby. Thanks to Lion Brand Yarn for sending this my way. I loved working with it, and you will too. And if you can't find this specific yarn, you can use any light yarn, any worsted weight yarn, like I said in my intro. So again, thank you so much for watching. Big thanks to my dad, who's over my shoulder filming this whole tutorial and editing it and posting it on YouTube for all of you to watch. And until next time, happy hooking.